Well, you know what? We did put the word out for bass players, and we've already gotten a lot of submissions, and we've gotten some really great ones as well. So,
any musicians?
No musicians yet, but we are hoping that. We don't really want a musician though. We want a bass player. So,
fair enough.
Sorry, Cory.
Hey, welcome to another episode of 2020. My name's Cory Peza, here as always with Siobhán and Ben. What up?
Hey, this was a super fun episode. It was awesome to have our guest back, who I will introduce, Satchel of STEEL Panther. He was on our show before, so go check out parts 1 and 2. It was really exciting to have him back. We talked about some really interesting things.
Some really interesting things.
Dare I say that, is this the first interview where he talks about what happens with Lexxi?
It might be.
It might be.
You might have to fast lane this. So if you guys are listening, we probably made this a day ago because, well, this is hot off the press. Check it out. Part 1 with Satchel.
And just as a reminder, we talked to Satchel for 2 hours and we did not stop. So this episode is just going to come to an abrupt end and you'll have to pick it up on the next one.
It's kind of like the drugs, man.
Just
so
keep
here's
going.
Part 1 with Satchel.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Benny Goodman. I'm here with my good friend Siobhán and Cory Peza. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Absolutely phenomenal.
You're asking me too?
Not yet.
We haven't introduced
but you're listening
you
to 2020, and we're here with our amazing guest, the famous to his mom, to my mom, to your mom, most likely, Satchel from STEEL Panther. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm. Look at me. I mean, I've got these audio technicas. I don't know what they are.
I don't even
They're
know.
members only.
But whoever's listening definitely has to look. Definitely have to.
What did you say?
No, I was saying
out.
Oh, am I cutting out? I was saying everyone listening definitely has to look because this is a very, as usual, visual episode. Amazing hair, amazing makeup, guitars, headphones, all the things.
Thank you. You know, I've only got eyeliner on. I know it looks like I've got makeup on because my skin is just very good for a 73-year-old man.
No, you're like a Van Zant from here up, from the Botox from the 11s. It's the Van Zant.
Well, this is, when you wear a headband, you don't really have to get Botox because you just tighten it up,
That's a really good tip.
It looks really good.
I'm gonna do that from now on.
You
Forget those
don't need
injections.
it yet. You're like 10, maybe 2 decades away from that. So don't worry
it's
about
fine. I've already had it, so it's too late.
Oh, well, no wonder you look so good.
Dropping the secrets. Well, Satchel, we appreciate you joining us again here in 2020. We spoke to you last year in the midst of the...
last year in 2020.
In 2020, yeah, we didn't...
Wait, that was last year? I thought it was 2017, dude. I thought 2000... Wait, what year are we in now?
Who even knows?
You guys have to change the name of the show to 2021. You're going to have to change it to 2035 when the pandemic is still going in 2035.
Oh my gosh, that's bleak.
There's a pandemic?
No, well, actually, it depends on who you ask.
Fair enough.
There's a pandemic? Is this like some sort of intervention? There's a pandemic? Wait, pandemic?
There is a pandemic.
Is that like pansexual?
The pandemic is actually way worse.
Why do you have so many keyboards, Benny? I don't understand why anyone needs that many fucking keyboards.
Because he thinks he'll get better at piano if he buys more gear. It's like guitars. The more you buy, it's like hopefully you'll get better.
So it's like the same thing as Yngwie Malmsteen with the 7,000 Marshalls. So I go I hide myself in keyboards on stage. Then I light myself up. Then I turn on my iPod that nobody could see, and then I just pretend.
Would you trade all those keyboards in for one keytar though, or do you have a keytar?
Dude, what you don't know, what you can't see is I'm playing a keytar right here.
Oh, I believe it.
A very sad song just for you.
Yeah. If I had a keytar, it would be covered in sperm. I don't know why I just said that. They're so cool.
Seemed to make sense.
It does.
It's Asian sperm, surprisingly.
Well, yeah. Does that taste the same, or does it taste like tapioca? I don't get it. What does it taste like? That's what matters.
We're getting the quality.
I'm the wrong one to ask on this dais.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump in. Let's ask it. Ben, just be quiet for this first bit. So, Satchel, what's been going on since we last talked to you? You're performing a little bit again. Like, what's new?
Oh my God, there is so much going on. We just got done with like a 13-month tour. No, I'm just kidding. There's been nothing going on. Has anything been going on with you guys? I mean, I haven't talked to you in it's been a year. I mean, there's really nothing going on. I still don't know. I've moved it. I'm in the same house. And since I talked to you guys last time, I still don't know where my mailbox is. I moved in here and I don't know where the mailbox is. There must be like so much mail in there.
Nothing important, I assume.
Maybe that's why nothing's going on.
I don't pay bills.
You haven't gotten the memo.
I feel like in a year, my angle of my camera changed and I got more keyboards, but not much else.
It looks like you have more keyboards. Do you know how to turn any of those on, though? I mean, that's really the...
I talk to them dirty all the time, but nothing seems to happen.
Well, you're not doing it right. That's the problem. You got to find out where the chlorosaurus is and then rub it.
You know what I love about you is that there literally is no edit, and that everything from your head, Satchel, to the ears of everybody is
I don't
just
censor.
No, but it's straight from like the noggin. Like it's totally unabashed. Like it's unfiltered. It's like 100% pure. Like it's not from concentrate, which is what most things are now.
I'm no bullshit, Benny. I don't fuck around. You know what I mean? And I think people appreciate that about me, because when people ask me what I think about stuff, I usually, I don't tell them the truth, honestly, but I don't bullshit them either, though. That's the thing. Like that's
a fine line.
It is a fine line. You don't want to be totally honest with people, because if you're totally honest, they're going to hate your guts. Like, you can't be totally honest. Nobody's totally honest 100% of the time, because seriously, I was in a long-term relationship one time. It lasted almost a week and a half. And this girl, wanted, me to be honest. This is what girls always say. They want you to be honest. I just want honesty from a guy. No, they don't. They really don't. You can't be honest with a girl. Like, you can be a little bit honest, but you can't be totally honest with a girl. Do you have a girlfriend? Do you guys have a girlfriend?
Are you talking to Siobhán? Because that'd be really cool.
I currently don't have a girlfriend, but you're totally right. I think we want like maybe 80% honesty. The other 20% is like,
you're married to a guy, right?
I am married to a guy.
Oh my God. How's that working out?
It's working out pretty well. We have two different places, so we can't kill each other.
Look, that's the way to do it. I know a guy in Florida. He's married to a girl, and they have apparently this guy's got like a lot of money, and he's got 2 master bedrooms. He's got his own master bedroom, and his wife has a master bedroom. How kick-ass is that?
Oh my gosh. Well, to be honest though, we get along super well. We try to be together as much as possible. But yeah, we have 2 different places. It helps. You got to have your own thing going on.
I just have a masturbator.
Oh, there we go.
Well, what's his name?
Cory.
There you go.
Don't drag me into this.
It's getting dark.
Oh my God. I don't know if we need to turn this into a relationship advice episode.
Yeah, we should.
Why not? I'm excellent at it. Really, really good at that kind of stuff.
So what other good tips do you have for relationships?
Good tips for relationships? Well, obviously the first tip is obvious. Lie whenever you need to lie. And honestly, I don't have a lot of long-term relationships. So it's usually just sexual. I have sex with girls that I'm very attracted to, and that way it's really hard to fake sex. That's the thing. Like, if you're attracted to somebody, it's fun and it's a great time. We've all tried to fake sex. It's really hard for guys, because you can't really fake a boner. So if you're trying to fake a boner, you have to close your eyes and think about something. You can do it. You can we have a song. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's called "Turn Out the Lights."
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, Steel Panther songs.
Was that meant for Tori Spelling?
Well, whoever's with Tori Spelling right now could probably take that advice to heart. All of our songs are educational, as you probably well know.
We're not. A lot.
Yeah, we're not just out here like having fun. We do have fun, but we're trying to educate the youth on heavy metal and the ways of love. That's what we do. So,
absolutely.
So speaking of relationships, you say you don't have very long relationships, but man, so I've been seeing you with Cory alone for like a decade. I've seen you 150 million times, and I heard that a certain bass player is gone, and I only found that out by getting text messages saying, "Are you going to play bass for Steel Panther?" And immediately I thought, I am definitely not good looking enough. But what's up, man?
You're a cutie pie, dude. You're a cutie pie.
You might have a gig. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the luscious locks.
Every Wednesday I have nice wigs. It's all real hair.
however you could, look the part. I mean, listen, obviously our band, we don't give a shit how we sound. We care how we look. That's the main thing. I think you got
tanning.
You got a strong jawline. You'd have to shave. You gotta look, a little bit more, 1987. Like just if you were going to audition for Whitesnake, what would you look like?
In 1987, I'd look like a baby.
I would not be born.
Well, I mean,
I look like Joel Hextra.
There you go. Yeah. I called him to see if he wanted to play bass, but he was obviously busy.
He is some fucking man of hair,
busy.
man. That guy.
He does.
If there's anybody that gives Lexxi like a run for his money with the hair, just put the hair solo on that guy.
Yeah, he's well conditioned, that guy.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything from Nikki Sixx?
Oh, I've heard a few things from Nikki Sixx, but nothing that I can repeat.
He's not interested? No? I figured he might be looking for a gig.
No, he just Nikki Sixx hates Steel Panther. I don't know why. He hates us so much. I mean, we get along so well. It's like we both make fun of Vince Neil. He makes fun of Vince Neil. We make fun of Vince Neil. Vince Neil's an easy target. He's like low hanging fruit.
I think we spent the previous episode, which if you've not seen, go back in the 2020 archives and listen to that. But I think a good chunk of that episode was on Vince Neil.
On Vince Neil. Well, yeah, he's an easy guy to talk about. Let's face it. I mean, it's when you have that much talent and that much, he's a great looking guy.
I think Vince Neil and Don Dawkins should start a band together with Oni Logan from Lynch Mob and to go deep, and we'll just call it like the Three Losers.
You know what, Don? I'll tell you what. We did you ever heard? That M3 festival and where is it? Maryland, in Maryland.
I don't know if I know that one.
I think we played there a few years ago, and we had never played there before, and I was wandering around and I found the place where all the bands go to eat. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, the catering?
Pizza Hut.
It might have been. I wish it was a Pizza Hut. The food wasn't that good, but I went and got some food, and I was like looking for a place to sit down, and there was like a bunch of people. There was a bunch of bands playing there, so it was more crowded than a Pizza Hut. And I was like looking for somebody in my band so I could sit down next to somebody and not feel uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, I saw Michael Starr, and he was like across the way, and I was like, oh shit, Michael's sitting next to some homeless guy who's like losing his hair and he's got fucked up teeth and shit. And I was like, well, fuck it, I'll go sit next to Michael and the homeless guy. And I went and sat down, and I was like, oh shit, that's not a homeless guy, that's fucking Don Dockett. and I sat down next to Don Dockett and Michael, and Don was so talkative. He was really a nice guy. It was like it was talking about how he likes to plant flowers in his backyard or some shit. I think he was full of shit. He was just
so wholesome.
Oh man, is it like high school reunions when you go and see these bands and like some of them you go back and you're like, wow, Ozzy looks exactly the same as 87, and then you're like, Don Dawkins, holy shit, that dude ate himself.
Yeah, no, Don was like, all I could think of as I was trying to eat, first of all, I was thinking about two things. That Don had like a piece of barbecued chicken hanging from his chin.
Oh my God.
And I know it was bizarre. And he didn't know it. I was like, when's that going to fall off? And
did you
and
say
the other
something?
thing I was thinking was, my God, I hope I don't look like Don when I'm his age. But I was like, fuck, that's only like 6 months. So.
Oh man. Oh, is there a point where you think to yourself that like these guys should have like the recognition that they should just stop? Because it's like, I gotta be real with you. Like poor Ozzy Osbourne. I know it's just Sharon Osbourne like pushing him out there and being like, you could do it. The guy has MS, all right? And he looks amazing. And like, he's really like cleaned himself up, but like he can't sing. I don't even know if he could walk. Like, who knows? He's like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, like where you didn't know he had polio. They just kind of wheeled him around. Like, when do you stop? Like, when does Don Dawkins look into the mirror and say, I'm missing a bunch of those incisors. Maybe I shouldn't sing this anymore.
I don't think Don has to pay his rent, so he can't fucking stop it. Ozzy has no excuse. He's got a bunch of money. Obviously, Sharon's like, fuck it, I want a new Tesla, so you're going out and singing tonight.
Oh my gosh.
But Ozzy doesn't really need to sing. Although I will say, I saw Ozzy so many times for years, and he always sounded great. I never saw him sound bad. And but then like a few years ago, we were at a festival that he was at, and he came on, and we were like listening from afar, and I'm not kidding you. He was, well, they tuned down now. They tuned down like at least a whole
he misses
step.
every single note. I think, honestly, and this is a sad truth, I don't think he can hear. Because when I saw him do NIB, he sang the whole thing like a half step off.
Right.
And you're just like, it's so uncomfortably dissonant. You're like, he can't hear that. That's so bad, like to do it consistently. Like he can't hear it.
No, he was exactly a half step off like the entire set. And we were all blown away because that's really hard to do, to be that consistently off.
Consistently out of tune.
But I thought to myself, well, it's got to be a combination of, well, the fact that, I mean, he's probably lost a lot of hearing, and he's also, they're tuning down a lot, and I don't think he wears in-ear monitors, so the volume is really fucking loud, and that makes it even harder to hear the note, especially when you're tuning lower. So I will give him all of that. But then I also think, well, fuck, man, he's probably on a lot of drugs too, which kicks ass.
Well, you know what's even harder though, I feel like, than singing the whole set a half a step off is Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi sitting there like they owning it the whole time, and they're like, Iommi murders it still. The guy fucking shreds. Geezer Butler, like 75 fingers going at once, and they're just standing there stoically, but like they hear it. How could they go for 90 minutes? They're just counting down the moments like, this is the end of Into the Void. I'm done.
No,
I can't handle this. Where's Dio?
Last time I saw Ozzy, he just walked off stage for a good 25 minutes and let Zakk Wylde take the world's longest guitar solo. And that was it. It was just the Zakk Wylde show. And I was like, all right, I saw Ozzy, but not really.
I will say, Tony Iommi, I love Tony Iommi. I think he's one of the greatest writers of all time. And a lot of people don't know this about me. I slammed my two of my left hand fingers in a door one time when I was fighting with this horrible girl. This girl came at me with like a bat or something, and I slammed my fingers in a door, and I yanked my fingers off. It chopped my fingers off at the end, and they were still attached by like some skin, but they were hanging off, and like there was blood shooting everywhere. And on the way to the hospital, I kept thinking to myself, well, fuck, Tony Iommi can play with plastic fingers. So if he can do it like that, it actually inspired me. I was like, well, fuck, I mean, if I lose my fingers,
that's
play with plastic fingers.
Staying positive with Satchel right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't really need all of your fingers, guys.
Ooh, I don't know. The one time when I was in college, I got carpal tunnel in my left hand, and I couldn't feel my fingertips for a while, and it really like fucked me up. I was like, I can't play because it's just weird not to feel this. So good for you.
Try playing War Pigs.
You know what helps? When I got carpal tunnel one time, and I just switched to my left hand for a while.
Oh, and apparently I'm not good enough for that. There's also not really a left-handed violin, so I was just.
I don't think that's what he meant, Siobhán.
Never mind. Yeah, I don't know anything about the violin.
Siobhán's like, I don't bow with that hand. What are you thinking? Don't you know this is in fourths?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. The violin, of course, and the guitar, right? Stringed instruments.
Totally. Are you doing that at 440? By the way, Siobhán, is it AC/DC current?
I don't know. Classical musicians sometimes tune a little sharp, like 441, 442. But apparently we weren't talking about violin to begin with, so we'll just go back to what we were talking about.
What's the magical, somebody sent me this crazy, weird tuning fork one time and said, here, you need to tune there it is. Is that the one?
I mean, I don't know. This is just like a standard A440.
That's A440. No, the one I'm talking about, somebody sent me and they went, hey, listen, I think you should tune all your instruments to this. It's A431 or something.
Oh, yeah.
And have you heard of this?
Yeah.
This is the best thing ever. They went, listen, guys, if we can get all the musicians to tune to A431 instead of A440, all the music in the world will vibrate on the same wavelength. And it's the most, there will be no more war. There will be no more famine. There will be I'm not kidding you.
If you look that up, do you know who invented that?
Tell me it's Les Paul.
Hitler.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I'm not even
Jesus.
kidding, dude. I swear to God, Hitler thought it was the way to like unite the universe. So I think they said, I don't know if it's 432 or whatever it is,
I'm gonna
but
go ahead
that
and
whole
fact check that.
I don't know
no,
about your facts, 'cause
Google it, dude. I swear to
don't
God,
think
the Nazis tried to fucking like Dr. Joseph Mengele was like change it to 432.
I don't think they were
damn
trying
it.
to unite the
those
universe.
guys thought of everything. Why did we stop them? Oh yeah, no, I remember.
We had to take them back to the United States and have them be part of MK Ultra and work for Nixon. That's what we did.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So
That's how we got those Megadeth records, dude. Don't you know?
I know. Without that, and I know we have Hitler to thank for Megadeth.
Oh my God.
Corey's anxiously looking up. Hey, I'm not lying.
Corey's like
All I'm
worried about
finding
his
is
facts.
conspiracy websites here, so this might take a while.
Makes sense.
Continue.
I wrote a lot of them.
But you
Everything
have to
on the
remember
internet
that
is true.
anything that the mainstream media doesn't dub truth is a conspiracy at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
We need to
Oh my
come up
gosh,
with-
why did we go here?
I meant to ask you. So let's do this. Let's play a game. Let's call it clickbait. What clickbait can we talk about? Like, what can we talk about that's just going to show up on Google?
Well, we didn't finish talking about Lexxi Foxx. I thought we were talking about Lexxi Foxx.
Well, you kind of
Let's talk
diverted
about
it, so
it.
I didn't know if you like felt something down there in the tampon area.
No, dude, I have plenty of vaginas, but they're all in the other room. I don't have
They're all external.
I don't want you to have any toxic shock syndrome on my time.
What do you want to know? I'll tell you anything you want to know.
What happened with Lexxi, man?
Oh, you want to know
He
what
had
happened?
bitchin' hair. Yeah,
Listen.
he had such bitchin' hair. Like, what do you have to do to have that bitchin' hair not be worth it?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that would love to know, like, what fucking happened to Lexxi Foxx, dude? What happened? I haven't talked to Lexxi since he quit the band, so that's the interesting thing. Like, a lot of people are like, get Lexxi back. It's never going to be the same without Lexxi Foxx.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Dude, I love how he stalled on that. Like Lexxi
All right, now you
Foxx's
want to talk about
spirit.
conspiracies.
It was
Yeah.
so
Lexi's like, and he's like, ha 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 ha.
Satchel,
All
you
of a
there?
sudden-
Can you hear us? You're frozen. In
He
like the
comes
most
back.
epic face possible, too.
That's fucking great, dude. It's like this is what he did. Is like, hey, okay, so freeze my computer just as I start telling people what's about to happen.
I'm gonna start eating my tacos while I wait. Oh my
I just
God,
wanna eat
no!
tacos.
Well, we
We-
apologize to every music blog out there.
We almost had the best headline ever there, but that's okay.
There he is.
We lost you at the most
Are you there?
climactic
Can you hear me
moment
now?
of that.
We
can
thought
hear you.
maybe you got assassinated by like this, like you're,
Yeah,
you're
the-
giving
the
Lexxi
internet
Foxx.
was
I was just
shutting
gonna
you down.
be pink and like black polka dots coming up on your screen. We're like, shit, he's in the Matrix now.
Okay, so where was I? Did you hear the part that I told you about where I caught him having sex with a dog?
No, we missed that. Just
No, we
rewind
missed
a
that
little.
part.
Yeah.
Okay, where do I start that? No, where was I when I cut out?
You were
I don't
saying
know.
everyone was saying,
You said that he didn't call you back. He quit, and so he quit, and then just disappeared and said fuck it and went off into the night.
Yeah. I mean, like, of course we didn't want him to quit. Nobody wanted him to quit, including a lot of fans. I'm sure a lot of fans are very, very, very sad that he left. But he's the guy who left the band. So, I think he's got he's got his own things he's dealing with, and he just wanted to go and do that. So I don't know. I can't answer for Lexxi Foxx. There we go. How's my hair?
Looks good.
Bitchin'.
But we will all miss Lexxi Foxx, and we all wish him the best in everything that he does. But we didn't fire him. He quit the band. So we wish, we're going to have to move on and get somebody else who's younger and foxier and doesn't need as much Botox as him. And
Do you think Wolfgang Van Halen's available? Because I feel like, is there like a Wolfgang in your life because that's kind of what happened with Michael Anthony. You know what I mean? Then just don't you have like a younger kid that could just come in and like do it with you?
well, you know what? We did put the word out for bass players, and we've already gotten a lot of submissions, and we've gotten some really great ones as well. So,
Any musicians?
No musicians yet, but we are hoping that we don't really want a musician though. We want a bass player. So
Fair enough.
Sorry, Corey.
If it walks like a duck.
exactly. So, but we'll there are some guys that there's been several that have been awesome. And when I say several, I mean more than
words.
7 or 8 that have been like really, really great. And I'm sure we'll end up finding the right guy, but we're going to take our time with it because, you know, we don't plan on stopping rocking anytime soon. Listen, I love Steel Panther. This guy would never quit because I love my bands. Okay. But I'm not going to quit the band, and I know the other guys aren't either. And if they quit, I'll just find other people to replace them too. But we will continue to rock, and we will, you know, like I said, we want to get the right guy because we want to keep rocking as long as possible. So we don't want to get somebody who we think is right, and then like 2 months down the line go, oh, this wasn't the right choice. So we're going to, we're going to make sure that decision is not one that we enter into lightly. So
that's got to be tough because it takes years to build chemistry. So I don't know if you can talk about it, but how do you test that out in like a compressed time period?
Well, you know, that's the thing. Like we had a great chemistry with Lexxi, but that's something that we don't want to rush. So we're going to take a couple different guys out on the road over the next few months. And we're also going to continue to look at people who send in submissions. And, you know, like I said, we're not going to decide on a submission tape or something. We're going to get together and hang out. I think really it's more, you know, one of the main things is just hanging out with somebody and seeing how you get along with them. Obviously for us, performing and being on stage has a lot to do with it. There's already, like I said, some people that have submitted that clearly understand what we're trying to do, and they get that we're more than just a band, and we're more than just we're an entertainment entity, and it's not just playing the bass. You got to be able to you got to be able to do a lot of things to be in this band, but we will find the right guy. So.
Well, that's a good question, though. About it. What makes the right guy? Because obviously we know how it goes in rock and roll. You can't replace the guy. You can't get Randy Rhoads to replace Randy Rhoads. So like Lexxi clearly was Lexxi. So like, are you looking for someone who's like Lexxi? Are you open-minded to these, you know, totally different characters that can maybe give a different chemistry? You know, like I don't want to say the Van Hagar to the David Lee Roth because that's like a negative connotation, but it took it somewhere different. Do you think you guys are going to go somewhere different, or is it just different flavors of metal?
Well, I mean, of course, anytime anybody leaves a band, you can never find that person. I would never try to get somebody to be Lexxi Foxx. I think that would be a bad idea anyway. But, you know, I mean, honestly, like, that's something that we, I'm entering into it with a very open mind because, like, I don't have any preconceived notions of who's going to blow me away or who's really going to come in and bring a lot to the table. So certain guys might be great bass players. Other guys might not be as good on the bass, but have a lot more to offer in other areas. So we're very open-minded to all of that. And, you know, I mean, like, let's face it, you know, it's a little easier to replace a bass player than it is to replace a singer, because two guys that play the same bass part, it's going to sound pretty similar, whereas a singer is going to sound completely different. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's not like Lexxi didn't really write songs. So
I thought you guys did tracks for years. Like, I mean, I thought you guys literally just mimed anything. So can't you just technically take anybody you want and just have them play his parts anyway? Because, like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we need somebody who looks cool because all of his bass parts are already recorded. So
right, yeah, that's.
But yeah, so much of it, of course, is personality too. Like we said before, chemistry.
I literally got 5 messages. I'm not even joking. That's how I found out. Was like, "Are you joining Steel Panther?" I'm like, "Why?" I mean, that's cool. Thanks for asking me, but like, of all days, why? And then it's like Lexxi Foxx. No, I'm like, I have a chance. There's a chance, but yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, I'm open-minded to anybody who wants to audition. I think that's one cool thing that we're doing is actually. Letting anybody submit. Anybody who wants to, who thinks they have what it takes to be in the band can submit. And, there's been I think we've gotten probably over 400 submissions already. That doesn't mean they're all good.
Have you had any female submissions? Just out of curiosity, can you tell me that?
As a matter of fact, we have, and there's been at least one. There's been a couple that have been great, like a couple that have been really, really great. Couple girls they're in the running for sure. I mean, I don't know who's going to be our next bass player yet, but I never really thought, oh yeah, I want to get a girl bass player, but I'm definitely.
Well, let me ask you this: with the girl bass player, it kind of like offsets the misogyny, but it also, if they're on your team, you could go even deeper. I don't know. It just sounds like I got one once in Vegas and it ended with some Asian blowing me. But
oh god, those are the best.
But the thing is, I feel like if you had a chick that was like on your team, that you guys could go like deep with your crowd. Because if you guys go to a Steel Panther show, sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's like a hostage situation, sometimes it's just like you don't know what's going on, but like there's just people touching each other. Like I feel like that's more conducive to that if you had a chick. Like that would blow my mind.
Well, I don't know about the whole misogyny thing, but if we did have a girl in the band, I would love to be able to fuck her when I can't fuck somebody else. So that's a cool thing.
That would make it easy.
Oh man.
Thinking
and if we get a girl in the band, I mean, the first thing that we got to do at the audition is have her suck all of our dicks. I mean,
I
that's
assumed
really
you do that for men or women. You got to make sure.
Of course. Well, yeah, I'm not. I mean, if we didn't do it for men and women, that would be sexist. Come on, Cory.
Right. Equal opportunity.
Exactly.
I feel like asking like for people to send in bass player audition tapes for Steel Panther is like going to your Ouija board and being like, please demons possess me. Like you're opening the floodgates to hell, dude. You're like, hey, all the bass players with long hair that still wear like full blown leather from head to toe in 90-degree weather and still rock nothing but like Judas Priest pre 1980 and like and walk around. And walk around like it's still a thing to get into Studio 54 with their Marlboros rolled up. What are those guys like?
I was surprised at how many dudes auditioned. They sent a videotape of them auditioning, and it was them on their bed in their apartment that didn't have a bed frame. It was just a mattress on the floor next to a wall with a bag of Doritos and like a 6-pack of beer. Like, I couldn't believe it. And these dudes are like, 68 years old. They're still living in an apartment, like just their mom's apartment, which I think, hey man, that's fucking heavy metal right there.
Can I outlive my mom and my buddy Jesse actually outlived his mom in his house. She like ended up moving out. So he stayed in the same place that he grew up and then like just took over and she like got a new place. I was like, dude, that's the way to be. Like, that's how you do it, man. You make mom move out.
That's right. That's I wish I would have thought of that sooner. Right, Mom? Mom, I'll be there in a second.
Oh my God, dude. So as far as like new music's concerned, like, so you write a lot of the music for Steel Panther. There's got to be a lot of shit that's inspiring you. Like, what kind of stuff right now is grinding your gears, Mr. Satchel?
Oh, well, listen, I'm always going to write about what I have experience at, which is, fucking a lot of girls and doing a lot of drugs. So, people are like, oh, here we go again. Another song about drugs and pussy. And it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Write about something that I don't know about? So yeah, of course we're going to write songs about that. But yeah, there's some other, we've got a lot of new songs. I've been writing a lot since they locked us all in our houses 15 days ago. It's been 15 days, right? 15 days of slow spread. Is that what it is? So is the 15 days up yet?
I don't even know what year it is, nevertheless what day.
Yeah, we lost track.
I just keep buying keyboards. They show up at my door.
Yeah, what's the name of your show? It's 2024, right?
Yes.
2024.
Yeah. We're just in 2020 perpetually, so let us know when we're done.
Well, hey, if we're all on lockdown, like that's the thing is I didn't even know that you couldn't like leave your house. Like I am such a recluse. Like everyone's like, oh, you're such a sociable person. I went to the grocery store the other day and like I thought it's okay not to have a mask on. Like what? I'm walking around. I'm like, am I a social pariah? Like what's going on? Yeah, and I'm in Randolph, Massachusetts. We're not of the highest repute in the world. Like, there are some ghetto-ass motherfuckers in this town. And they're like, looking at me like, you mouth breather. I'm like, I didn't know that you're a lesbian.
Yeah. I know. It's a horrible, horrible time that we live in.
Oh, breather. Sometimes I cross those wires. In the gym, like whatever. Mouth breather.
I get it. No, that was good. I mean, listen,
I tried.
I loved it.
Could I be in the band? I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast
You
enough
don't
in a
have
good
to
way.
have a vagina to be a carpet muncher because I'm a carpet muncher as well. So, right? Is that a sexist term, carpet muncher? I don't know. Does anybody have a carpet anymore?
I don't know.
It's an antiquated term.
Antiquated. I gotta look that one up. What about ants? Does this have to do with anything?
Not a goddamn thing.
I said
absolutely
antiquated.
nothing.
I'm taking this to the lowest common denominator. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, you haven't driven the conversation into the ground in a few episodes, so that was
like,
nice.
This is like real. I curb stomped this like American History X style. Back to the Nazis.
Well, I have to say,
there's a giant 432 joke.
Siobhán, save us.
No, it's okay. Now that you changed your angle with your phone, now I see twice as many guitars as we saw before. So can you tell us about some of these guitars that are up? I thought you only had the bottom half.
There's a mirror in the middle of the room.
Okay. So it's just doubling everything. Okay.
You know what? There's not a whole. I mean, there's a cut. Listen, this is a. I probably showed you this the last time. Did you guys see this one already?
That's pretty badass.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
It's amazing. How comfortable is that to play? It looks.
My buddy John made that. It actually. The cool thing about this is it actually smells. It's horrible.
Oh
it's a
my God!
scratch and sniff guitar. It's really great.
I just got what? Okay, I just got that whole thing.
Yeah. My buddy John made that. It plays great, sounds great, and smells great as well. So
I am sure.
Did you know that Brazilian rosewood?
Like chocolate ice cream.
I was gonna say Brazilian rosewood smells like chocolate. That's how you know it's Brazilian. Is you just you sand it down. It smells like chocolate. I was convinced that's why all the people at PRS were high in the 80s.
Oh wow, that's a great place to work, I guess.
No, but it's true though. If you actually sand down Brazilian rosewood, it's wicked chocolatey smelling. I only know that because I took a belt sander to a guitar from like 1860. So whatever. Wow,
you're the only person I've ever heard say that. But I don't hang out with. Listen, I play guitar. I don't build them. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing building.
I just break them, dude. I don't build them.
Well, so let's talk about performing. Has there been any performing since the last time we talked to you? Have there been any shows? Like what's been going on?
There hasn't been a lot going on. I think there's been very few performances by any band since last year. Although we went out a couple times this year, mostly in the States. We did a lot of shows, not a lot, but like a handful of shows where they were outdoor. We have to have social distancing to make sure everybody's safe. So we're going to do a show. We'll put the band outside, even though it's 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and it'll be an outdoor show. Oh my God, crazy stuff. I mean, but we've done some stuff like that. We have done some indoor shows as well. Let's hope that we get past this at some point.
Are you still doing this current
10 12 years? What?
Are you still doing this current tour? Like, cause I have in my phone, you're coming to Hampton Beach and you're coming or some other stuff. Is that still happening?
We're on our way. We are on our way. We were supposed to leave on Thursday, but alas, there's been more cancellations because the first place we were supposed to go was New Orleans. And now that's about 12 feet underwater.
Jeez. Yeah.
So we had to cancel the first 3 shows of this tour, but hopefully we'll be able to do some of the shows that we're supposed to do.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question that just came to mind. You were mentioning traveling around the U.S. What's it like when you guys, and I'm not sure, you've toured Europe, I assume. Are the audiences, do you find that the humor is different there, that people have a different reaction to your show? Because whenever we're abroad, I always think about like the British people have different humor and the Germans have different humor. Like it changes a lot. So what's your experience over there with the show?
Everybody, I think people that enjoy Steel Panther have that common bond no matter where you go. So when we go to Europe, sure, there might be a little bit more of a language barrier, like in Germany, or probably even worse when we get to like Italy or places like that. But Germany, there's a lot of people that speak English fairly well in Germany, even though it's English second language. But the humor, they all get the humor. Mm-hmm. Like they all love the songs, and they all get what we do. And in Germany, they're awesome. Everybody dresses up in Germany. Obviously in England, it's the same way. They all speak. A lot of them speak English in England, although not as many as there used to be over there. But everywhere we go, the one thing that I did notice though is that when we go to Japan, I would have thought that we'd have a way bigger following in Japan, but there's not quite as many English-speaking people in Japan as I would have thought. And they're very repressed in Japan sexually. So I think when you joke about ass fucking somebody's mom in Japan, they kind of go,
it doesn't go over well.
I'm going to go get a drink somewhere. They just kind of like shy away from that kind of humor over there. But I will say this, the first time we ever played in Japan, it was a festival. It was a Loud Park festival. And we opened up with Asian Hooker. So, first song we ever did in Japan. And
ballsy.
Yeah, it was ballsy. Yeah, and they loved it. They fucking loved it. I don't think they understood what the fuck we were saying, but they loved it.
That's hilarious. One thing I noticed about like playing in Japan is everybody, well, at least at rock concerts when we were playing, is like it was like classical music. It was like, oh yes, welcome to the stage, and everybody's like doing this like in coordination. There's like absolutely no chaos whatsoever. Like high energy, but it's super organized, which is kind of weird.
But yeah, that's the culture over there, right?
Yeah. So
it's very interesting. Although that's one thing. That's one reason why I don't think we go over as well in Japan as we do in a lot of other countries, because our show. I don't think you've ever been to our show, but I know that Benny has been to a number of them, and we involve the crowd a lot, and when you're in Japan, I don't think the crowd really likes to be involved. Like if you try to talk to people in the audience, they sort of like look around and go,
yeah.
Like, I'm not fucking talking to you, man. But when we're in Germany or, Canada or Australia, and you point at somebody and say, hey man, I'm going to fuck your face. They go, all right, yeah, you can fuck my face, Satchel. It's cool.
That's awesome. What would you say is your favorite country to perform in outside of the US?
Well, I do love going to Poland because there's a lot of really slutty girls there. That's a great place. But there's a lot of slutty girls everywhere. So it's hard to choose. Canada's great. America, the good old US of A is great.
Where do you guys go over the best in the US? Because if the last few years haven't taught us anything, there's a lot of divisiveness and cancel culture going on. And you're kind of one of those, I fucking hate that shit. In fact, your clip of you saying talking about free speech, which you are the fucking living embodiment manifestation of free speech. Like if there was a Mr. Clean for fucking free speech with awesome hair because he's fucking bald, it would be you, bro. So what do you think going around the fucking country where everyone's like divisive? First off, one of the things about metal is that it's supposed to bring people together. But you have a show where people could either love it or hate it. So do you notice in Texas, it's different from, Mississippi, it's different from Arkansas, it's different from Boston?
Well, I mean, again, I obviously, I don't try to get political with that kind of shit, but I do think that our band, we separate the wheat from the chaff right out of the gate. Like if you are offended by us talking about ass fucking, then you're probably not going to come to the show in the first place. So, but yeah, I mean, there are, I mean, listen, I mean, there's going to be different opinions on certain things. I try not to, go to a political place usually, especially at our shows. I don't give a fuck whether people are Republicans or Democrats at our shows. I don't care whether they're pro-vax or anti-vax. I don't give a shit. But when it comes to speech, though, like, listen, I believe that everybody should be able to say whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want. And that's what makes our fucking country great. I do think that there's plenty of people, there's plenty of people in Canada that are figuring out that there's some big differences between America and Canada. And one of the main ones is you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want. Although, let's face it, you can't say whatever you want in America anymore. That's going away. You can't say what you want. And it's not because the government's clamping down. It's because big tech is clamping down. So if you say, hey, I don't know about the vaccine, for instance, like, oh, well, if you don't know about it, we're just going to take you off that. We're going to, you're spreading dangerous rumors or whatever. And I think that's just a way for people to shut down their political opposition. And I think it's a bullshit excuse. But unfortunately, that's where we're at with America now. Like, now political rivals can go, hey, we don't like what they're saying, so let's get big tech to remove it. Let's get big tech to get it the fuck out. And if you don't like what we're doing, we'll just, I think political opposition doesn't have to use the government to silence people anymore. It's they're using companies, right? So if you can get Nike to mandate something for all their employees, or get Starbucks to mandate something and say, hey, everybody who wants to come in our store has to wear masks or something. So the government can step out and go, hey, they're private. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Right. But that's not really true, because what if Starbucks said, hey, we don't like black people anymore. Black people can't come in. The government would say, hey, motherfucker, you can't do that. Right. So, I mean, the government steps in when they want to step in, but when they don't want to step in, they go, they're private. They can do whatever they want. So you can see how that is going for people, but we definitely don't have freedom of speech like we used to in our country. And that changed a lot over the last, how long has it been? 10 months now? Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm listening because I have a thing.
Cut his speed. Cut his fucking speed. He's talking about free speech.
I wholeheartedly believe. So listen to this. So when we were growing up, and this is a serious thing, like I had to read in school George Orwell, right? 1984, about Big Brother.
Yeah, they canceled that book, by the way.
Yeah, they don't. Oh, you don't read that, or Fahrenheit 450. Yeah, none of that shit, dude. Or Anne Frank's diary or anything like that didn't happen.
Cut it.
But you had to read 1984, and the whole idea was that there were people watching over you at all times, and that there was something called Big Brother. But the truth is, we are Big Brother. We are those auditors. We are the ones taking pictures of ourselves, geotagging ourselves, fucking saying, you know what, your speech is bothering me. Like, I found out that Lost Symphony, our band that we're in, that you play on Chapter 1, right? We couldn't fucking post shit because one of our the people that was helping us advertise, right? Because you have to pay for that shit, was like, we can't post anything. I'm like, why? Because the moderator's restricted for 60 days. What? Well, one of my fucking posts, like, I think it was like false news, because it said, if you stare at this, it makes your mind. I actually cut out all the words and I liked the picture because I'm a stoner, right? I got flagged for that. And then one of my other buddies got kicked off Facebook. He's a nihilistic motherfucker. And from like 4 years before, I had posted a terribly hilarious meme that said, be mine. And it was Hitler. Again, back to the Hitler thing. For Valentine's Day, because that's how I feel about it. And he appreciated it. And nobody complained. He thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. But because he got kicked off Facebook, Facebook went back and 4 years fucking later tagged me. And I had to have my fucking PR agency call me and say, why the fuck can't we advertise? And it's because I spread false news and because I am a Nazi.
Yes. Let me just remind people that the Taliban can tweet whenever the fuck they want, but Donald Trump can't, okay? doesn't that fucking strike people as fucking weird that the Taliban can do whatever the fuck they want on big...
Come on, he's smart enough. He made another account now. He must have like a Donald Trump too.
Listen, I think Donald Trump should have a fake account as the leader from the Taliban and just tweet as that guy.
Yeah. What would be his
That's
first
the way
tweet?
To get around it.
Hold on, but what would be Donald Trump's first tweet as the Taliban with his fake Twitter handle?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I guess as long as it's not about hydroxychloroquine, he can do whatever he wants. Eh? Wait! The Taliban can't be tweeting about ivermectin. Wait, I'm confused.
You know a lot for a guitarist. Like, you're very dangerously armed with knowledge for somebody that plays guitar.
I'm not on social media anymore. I got fucking banned from that shit.
Is this why you're not playing bass on the record, because you're just not capable of dumbing yourself down?
I can't do it. Yeah, I play too many notes.
Oh my god! But it's funny you are reverse cancel culture. Do you ever find that like people? Have you used cancel culture against cancel culture? Because I know with the Pussy Melter, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to turn this into money. We're going to let them get angry, and then our people are going to get even angrier because it's actually an injustice. And that's the thing is, there's no question that what happened, and people should go Google it, like with the Pussy Melter.
Story.
But
yeah.
you ended up having TC Helicon or whatever take your patch off because it was called the Pussy Melter, as if there isn't the Big Muff and like 10 million other sexual double entendres out there, and people were offended, and they actually did it, and you fucking turned it into a pedal and made money off of it. What's up with that?
The whole thing was a perfect example of like, TC Electronics. They got really scared. They were like, oh my god, there's like hundreds of people, and they're all mad at us, and let's take this down. And they were afraid of getting canceled. And of course, I sort of made fun of that whole situation. But with that, we had so many fans that, let's face it, like I said, I don't care who votes for who or what side of the aisle you're on. Most Steel Panther fans appreciate that we can say whatever we want and we can joke about whatever the fuck we want. And when somebody tried to shut us down and say, oh, you can't call this a pussy melter, that's offensive, all of our fans came to bat for us. I didn't have to say anything. There were so many people just waiting to get into the fray with that they all did the fighting for us. And thankfully, I felt like we were on the right side of that. Listen, it was plain and simple a free speech issue. And so when we did put that foot pedal up for sale, everybody wanted a piece of it. And and listen, most people didn't give a shit what it sounded like. And ironically, the thing sounds fucking great. It's one of the best sounding distortion pedals I've ever heard. And, and I can't take credit for that because I did not design the circuit, although I'm sure that somewhere in the circuit, there's just a little bit of pussy juice in every one. But the whole thing, turned out really great for us because it was really about, hey, you can't tell us what to say. And this is, I'm sure everybody's heard a lot of people talking about that over the last couple of years about comedy and about how cancel culture and wokeism is ruining comedy. And there's a lot of comedians that are afraid to go places that they used to be able to go very easily. Listen, I was alive during the 80s when there was fucking Sam Kinison and George Carlin and all these guys that and when Eddie Murphy came out for the first time, I was a kid. You guys aren't old enough to remember this shit. But when Eddie Murphy came out and he was on Saturday Night Live, he also did his first album. I think his first album was Raw or Delirious, maybe.
You're talking about the one all red leather?
Oh, dude, all red leather. And everybody. I
still wear that every night to bed.
And there was a thing that he did on his record about Mr. T being gay, right? Like, and you guys probably don't remember this. And he was like,
I do.
Yeah, Mr. T. Like, and he was talking about like, what if Mr. T was gay and like, and he was taking it up the ass and he was doing his thing about Mr. T, like, you better slow down or I'll rip your fucking dick off, motherfucker, with my butt cheeks or whatever. And it was great. Everybody in my 7th grade class was like, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. And so, years later, when I started writing songs for Steel Panther, I was like, God, I really want to be the heavy metal version of Eddie Murphy back in 1984. Like, I want to do that. I want every kid in the 7th grade to hear my songs. Like, I want to write a song and have 7th graders go, I want to memorize every fucking word to that song just because it's so fucking offensive. And I want to play it really loud in my bedroom so my parents can hear it through the bedroom door and go, what the fuck am I hearing from my kid's bedroom right now? So that was the kind of shit that inspired me as a as far as humor goes. It was like guys like Eddie Murphy and Sam Kinison, and guys who didn't give a fuck who they were offending, right? And so I think there are a lot of comedians who are afraid they're going to offend, women or gay people, and you got to throw that shit out the window. And ironically, like there are Steel Panther fans everywhere we go, who are Black, who are gay, who are women, and I have gay guys that go to every time we come to a certain town. They're there. They're like, we're gay and we love you guys. And it's like, yeah, see, I mean, you can joke about, we do gay jokes all the time. It's like, you should be able to joke about that kind of, just because you're not gay doesn't mean you can't joke about being gay. Just because you're not Black doesn't mean you can't joke about Black people. They trust me, the Black people are joking about white people all the time. You know what I'm saying?
With everyone, like you mentioned, your inspiration being the Sam Kinison, the George Carlin, and like that more, unfiltered comedy that doesn't exist much anymore. What do you think the next generation of people that are growing up now, almost, not even the comedians that are kind of afraid, but the people that don't even hear that edgy comedy anymore, what's that going to look like for the future comedians and the future like entertainment?
Well, here's the thing. I know that wokeism is out of control and cancel culture is out of control right now, but people love to laugh and people love to be able to speak their fucking mind. And you can't be funny, I think, if you can't push the envelope a little bit and joke about shit that you're not supposed to joke about. And that's one of the things that is great about the differences in people, like being able to joke about cultural differences, because there's huge differences between Black and white culture. There's huge differences between Asian culture and Black culture, or gay culture and heterosexual culture. Gay guys are fucking hilarious. They're really funny, but like I don't understand a lot of it, but they're funny as fuck. But like I'm not gay, so I don't suck dicks. But to me, the whole idea of being gay is very funny, and there's a lot of funny shit in that. And everybody, if you can't joke about the funny shit that's in, listen, stereotypes are stereotypes because they are fucking funny. You know what I mean? It's funny to joke about Asian people being bad drivers because there's a lot of them. I know I'm going to take some shit from that.
No, but that's one thing that I love about comedy. And when I do go to see comedians, for example, is that it does feel like 100% honesty. There is some relief you get from people saying stuff as it is and how they perceive it, and that being okay. It's kind of like creates a safe space where it's like okay to laugh at something because you're in that environment of comedy, which it does feel like a very rare form of honesty. To go back to what we said at the beginning.
And I think I probably talked about this the last time I was on your show, but one of the things that I love about being in Steel Panther, and one of the things I love about our shows is that, people who go to our show, and it doesn't matter whether they're white or Black or male or female or gay or hetero, they go to our show because they love that they're in a place where everybody's the playing field is level, because we make fun of everybody and everybody can laugh at everything, and you don't have to feel, you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to watch what you say because everybody can joke about everything, and it's everybody's in on it. So everybody has fun, and it really lets everybody let their guard down, and everybody can have fucking fun, instead of when you go out when you're out in public normally, most people are very aware of what they can and can't say in this day and age. And God, that gets fucking old after a while. Most people are just like, fuck, I just want to cuss and make fun of a gay person for once. Come on.
But you know what's weird though is if you go and watch like these old like movies or whatever, you go and watch. Okay, you watch like Die Hard from the '80s. What was inappropriate then versus what's inappropriate now, and some stuff they say you're just like that would never fly. That would never fly. But then the things like you can barely show a tit, and I'm watching full blown dong for like solid like 10 seconds at a time on every HBO show, just dong over and over. And don't get me wrong, like a little dong is fine, but like it's a lot of dong on TV. But then you can't say certain things. But then you go back and you watch Blazing Saddles, and you're like, this movie actually got made by a white Jewish guy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, listen, Blazing Saddles. I mean, anybody who goes back and watches that right now, you can go back. You know, if you're 22 years old and you watch Blazing Saddles, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked. But you're also going to fucking laugh your ass off. So, like, if you're shocked and you're laughing your ass off at the same time, you're probably going to feel guilty about the shit that you laugh at in Blazing Saddles, because every other joke in Blazing Saddles is totally offensive, and it's all fucking great. It's killer stuff. And it's, yeah, I mean, that makes you realize, like, that shit would never get made now. What is wrong with our culture now? Why can't we laugh at each other? I mean, listen, that was one of the great things about the 70s was Archie Bunker and Blazing Saddles. And I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, are we able to teach the same lessons? One of the things that I loved about Archie Bunker, it wasn't just because Archie Bunker was a racist. They taught you how fucking ridiculous racism is through that show. And you couldn't do it without the humor. So if you can't say the words that Archie Bunker said, I mean, listen, they said the N-word like a bunch of times on that show, but they also showed how ridiculous it was to be a racist on that show. So I think that humor and all that, it's, you know, that's the problem with wokeism and cancel culture, is that they want to tear all the statues down. And if you can't look back and appreciate the good things and the bad things from history, then you're doomed to repeat it, right? So we have to be able to joke about shit, and we have to be able to talk about stuff. And I think one great thing about humor is that it's a way to point out how ridiculous shit is and laugh about it at the same time. So there you go. That's my 2 cents as they pull down the video from YouTube.
No, that's amazing insight. I'll say, like, on a relatable level, that's one thing I loved about like joining the rock world versus being in classical music. You know, every time I would show up to orchestra rehearsal, it was like I always felt like I had to like say the right thing and like be on my best behavior, which, you know, is fine. It's good. You should be respectful, whatever. But once I joined a rock band and I heard how everyone was talking, and it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. I'm like, wow, I can actually say how I feel, and that's just a thing. You know, and now every time I go back to orchestra rehearsal, I'm like, man, I got to watch what I say because I've been in a rock band for so long.
You're absolutely right. And that's one of the great things about being in a rock band, is that you can say virtually anything you want. The problem is most rock musicians are just so stupid, they don't really have many things to say.
That's pretty true, to be completely real with you. Like what would you say? Like, you know, like what would you do? Like if you're Dave Matthews, you're just standing on stage in front of a bunch of hacky sackers. Like, what are you gonna be like? There's the pizza truck.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Just put your fucking tailor and shut the fuck up while ants march.
Talk among the band, though. I'm saying like within the community of musicians. You know, I'm not talking about what you say to the audience. But
like Carter Beauford.
But I'm also in a band with like super brainy people. I mean, the singer was like a PhD candidate, super, you know, not your average rock band, I guess, but
it's like the transcendent man.
Yeah. Well, that means you're probably doing a lot of odd time, which is really, really, I can't do that.
Odd time isn't marketable. Dustin would never.
No,
you would never do that. No,
Right.
hon, you're not thinking about it. So let me tell you about Starset. I equate it to Scientology. First off, just like L. Ron Hubbard, when Isaac Asimov and him were getting like coffee break, and Isaac was like, dude, you can't make your own religion. He's like, bro, I could make my own religion. I did this Dune book. I could fucking write anything. All right, I'm going to make people get mentally audited. I'm going to get John Travolta to do shit. I'm going to get that Bart Simpson fucking dude, like a chick. Is it a chick? And he fucking did it, dude. And Dustin, same fucking thing. He's like, I'm going to write a book I'm going to create a world. They're serious astronauts, which I'm seriously interested by. And then every band that comes on, they're like, wait, you're in Starset? Like, it doesn't matter if it's Shannon Larkin. It doesn't matter, like, what kind of music you play. They're like, oh, I saw your band at some festival. They're playing on stage with Metallica as a headliner on, like, 15 fucking festivals because of this Dustin guy. And it's like, because they have a religion. And I'll tell you this, other than a Steel Panther show, which is very much like your crowd, I was at a Starset show, and I started, like, talking to somebody, and the people in front of me got upset. They were like, how could you not be witnessing the Starset band? And it's like, they've been completely reprogrammed. And meanwhile, Dustin's just sitting there going, ha, 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 ha. Yes, excellent.
It's great. It's inspiring.
We have passionate fans. No, but I'm sure with Steel Panther, it's the same. As when you create a culture, you create something that is a community of whatever it may be. You know, those are really passionate fans, whether it's a culture of comedy, of freedom, of science.
This
of
is my
outer space.
homage to Dustin. Do you know that? I wore this shirt as an homage. Did you see it?
What is
that's
it?
great.
Oh, nice, nice.
It's for Dustin. I just want him to know it's not real. Dustin created it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting because a friend of mine went to Guns N' Roses the other night and sent me pictures from GNR, right? And they played at the Raiders Stadium here in Vegas, right? And they play, like, you know, it's a big place. I think they must have had probably, you know, 50 or 100,000 people there. Who knows? But you know, when you're at a Steel Panther show and there's only 1,000 people, everyone knows all the songs. But you know that at a Guns N' Roses show, when there's 100,000 people, there's probably about 80 or 85,000 of them that are like, when are they going to play "Sweet Child of Mine"?
Yeah.
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like, and
Sure.
so they know one or two songs. They might know "Welcome to the Jungle," "Sweet Child of Mine," "Paradise City." They know 3 songs, and then the rest of them they're just like, God, when are they going to play those fucking songs? And that's the difference. I mean, and, you know, most musicians that I know would cut off their left testicle to be as big as Guns N' Roses. You make a lot of money, you play arenas, but when you're playing giant places like that, the only way to get to that level is to have a lot of passive listeners that don't really know a lot of your shit. They're just going because it's the place to go. It's the place to be. You know, I'm sure that most.
Wait, you're telling me if you go and see Phil Collins right now that that you don't have a whole stadium doing the fucking "In the Air Tonight" solo together? I've seen it, man. I've seen it.
That.
Yeah. But
Everyone knows
that.
"In the Air Tonight." It's all the shit off.
It's a groovy kind of love that we lose. Yeah. Oh wow, good Genesis call. That's the one. Peter Gabriel.
There's going to be a lot of people that you know, that don't know all the B-sides, right? For, you know, a Phil Collins concert or something. But "In the Air Tonight," everybody's going to go do 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 do.
I didn't know Phil Collins had any B-sides.
Yeah, right. No, he had a lot of hits, that guy. You know, we used to have to win over audiences all over the place and go on stage and, like, people wouldn't even know who we were. It was like, you know, we'd play a fucking movie premiere party and everybody there, we were a new band too. So you have to go on stage and just go, you know, look at girls and go, hey, what's up, bitch? I'm gonna fuck your ass tonight. I mean, like, people were, whoa, that guy just said he was gonna fuck my wife's ass. He told my wife he was gonna fuck her ass. Like, and, you know, like, you have to be so confident in what you're doing that you can literally, like, you know, there's video of me, like, Kelly Clarkson is at our show, and I just look at her and I say, I want to fuck your face. And she's just like, oh, yeah, fuck my face. Like, fuck my face. I know you can do it. When you're that confident, like the audience, you know, that I think that's a good lesson for anybody in any band. Like whenever you're playing new music, you just got to go, you're going to fucking love this. And if you don't, I'm going to kick you in the balls, motherfucker.